Before I get into rule number 4, first I want you to take a minute and to think, what are your life goals? What is your mission in life? Because people that don't have life goals, that don't have a mission, they are very easily organized by other people that have a mission and have life goals. And usually they're organized to commit some kind of crimes, so forth and so on, to go out in the streets and break windows and do crazy things. So a person that has life goals is not able to be organized, and that raises his level of invulnerability. Now, these next words are words of Roberto Saviano from his book 000. If you have not read books or watched films of Roberto Saviano, I really highly recommend it. You're gonna enjoy them. Watch them before sleep. Very good films. Very good books. Okay? So Roberto Saviano says, what do people live for? What do they strive for? They usually strive for love. Well, love ends. People believe in their heart. Well, your heart stops beating. Others believe in women. He says that all holes at some point dry up. Believe in your wife. Well, as soon as your money ends, she will say, listen, you don't give me enough attention anymore. You believe in your kids. As soon as you stop giving them money for toys and such, they will say you don't love them anymore. You believe in your mother. If you don't act as a caretaker, she will say you're not a grateful son. Now, those are the words of Roberto Saviano. So if you have some kind of emotions about those words, you can write to him and tell him about it. Those are just some life goals of some people that he has stated in his book. Now, the life goals of the club members of the Honorables, Los Honorables, is invulnerability. Now, talking from myself now, if somebody makes their life goal money, well, we see what happens to people that make their life goal money. Their world usually comes crashing down. And when I mean usually, always. It always comes crashing down. That's why money is just one part of the overall goal. And the overall goal that everybody strives towards, but they do it on a level that's subconscious. They don't comprehend it, but it's actually very simple. Everybody strives towards invulnerability. Everybody. Nobody is able to say that because they don't comprehend it. Let's look at it like this. Why does someone join a club? They usually want some kind of a strength around him, some kind of a protection, so forth and so on. Why do people go to a job, a work? They need money to eat because they're vulnerable. If they don't know how to make money by themselves, they need to go get a job because they are vulnerable and they want to raise their level of invulnerability. I'm going to be saying that word many times and I can barely pronounce it, so bear with me. And that's the idea of our club. That's all of our life goals, because we have realized that is the life goal. There's nothing else. If you say you love your kids, then you have to also teach them to be invulnerable so you can love them for longer. If you love money, you have to become invulnerable so that you can keep your money. If you like to be happy, you have to be invulnerable to be happy longer. It all boils down to invulnerability. And that is why this club was created, is to help people realize that notion and to achieve it. Now, I understand that most people will not achieve it because of their level of understanding of this notion. But they will raise their level of invulnerability within the club because throughout our historical research, we have been attacked by many different structures that didn't like us digging into history. And most of those attacks were internet-based attacks. And a few of them were physical attacks that basically were wars. That people actually arrived in buses and tried to kill us, and we stayed alive. We stayed alive in all those situations. And we are continuing to stay alive to pass on what we have learned throughout our research. What we're doing is we are giving an alternative way of life to people. Because right now, when a person is born, he doesn't have that many choices. You either go work for someone, you either go work for the government, you become a businessman yourself. To do that, you have to go work for someone, and basically that's a whole other story. But the fact of the matter is, there has to be alternative ways of life. And that is what we are preserving. It's an alternative way of life to everything else you see. It's a different organization that's built on honor and brotherhood. Within that organization, we teach how to raise your level of invulnerability. And that is why the club was created. In our 21st century, there are different types of attacks. They could be informational attacks, psychological. There could be physical. It could be something that has to do with internet and mass media. They could attack your business. They could attack you personally through mass media, psychologically, and physically. We have the means to teach our members to become invulnerable to those notions if they want to learn. And another thing is our club will protect anybody, even if it's someone that is not in the club. So this is like an alternative system to everything else that's out there. That if somebody is getting bullied, if somebody is trying to take away your business, somebody's trying to do something to you, you can, if you have a clean heart, you can come and ask for help within our club, not being a club member, and the club will help you. In our club, the members can make their own design to their own jackets, aside from what is mandatory. What is mandatory is LosHonorables and our logo. Other than that, everybody has their own story to tell. Everybody has their own personality, and we do allow our club members to show that personality by designing their own colors, so they can have other patches on their jacket other than what's mandatory, as you have seen from some of the posts on this page. To get a few more things straight, so our club does not recruit anybody. It's not how it works. What we do is we show that there is an alternative lifestyle to what's out there right now. Our club is constructed the same way clubs were constructed thousands of years ago. We have kind of formatted it to a modern world, but the structure is the same, and the life goals are the same as they were thousands of years ago. So we're not going to go around recruiting anybody. We don't need anybody. What we are doing and what we need is to protect this alternative system. That's also the main goal. It's lived for thousands of years, and it's going to continue to live for thousands of years. And that's actually the big part of invulnerability. When we die, this system continues to live. We're merely seeing it through our time, so it continues to live. We feel like it's our duty. If we didn't do the research, if we didn't do what we did, the system may have died, and there would have not been an alternative to the government systems or the systems of society. So instead of recruiting or asking people to join, we don't do that. We show that there is an alternative. We did the work, we put in the hours, the time, sweat, and tears, and we show that there is an alternative system that someone can be a part of. And from there on, it's not up to us who chooses. The choice is something everybody, that's one of those freedoms that everybody has, is choice. Now, when a person doesn't have a choice, that's bad. And, every biker loves freedom. And a true meaning of freedom can only be reached through invulnerability. Because when you are vulnerable to everything around you, you cannot be free.